Can you do a little bit louder? Thank you.
Okay. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. The unsurpassed, deep, profound, subtle, wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million eons is difficult to encounter. Now that I've been to receive and hold it within my sight and hearing, I vow to fathom the thus comes one's true and actual meaning.
Good, thank you. Mhm. Today, okay, let's do 1 minute meditation before we actually go into it. So, keep your back straight, your neck straight, close your eye. Inhale to the nose and exhale to the nose. You count one. Inhale and exhale. You count two. Uh, so when you see your don't hold your breath, just do naturally. Okay. Uh, when you see your monkey mind come up, you do not follow them. Just go back to your inhale and exhale. So keep your focus. If you lose track of your counting, just start from one. Okay. All right. This will help you to be focused. Okay. All right. One, two, three. Okay. Close your eye and sit still. All right. Thank you. Okay. So we last week we learned about how the mind works, right? For the eight consonants, based on the reader, based on the memorization. So just the beginning to understand our mind. And what I'm going to do here is today I will teach you about the story of Ashoka. Ashoka, he was one of the greatest emperor of the India. Um, 200 years after the Buddha passed away, and at the beginning he was a very brutal king, and he really bad. But later on, he converted into the good king. Um, so we learn this story. After we learn this story, I will also help you to understand to the mind, to the eight concepts and the Buddhist psychology, to understand when the person when the person became bad, right? How his mind work, and when the person who in the remorse, that means when they did bad thing, and they feel very bad about their past action, uh, how the mind work for that person as well, and also how the mind work for the one that change from the bad into the good person, how that mind work. So we will try to understand how this thing. From the story, we will learn about the mind and also the emotional. Basically, Buddhist psychology. I will walk you through all these things. This is one of the interest subject to learn. Can you guys hear me well?
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes.
Good, thank you. Good. Um, Okay, Thomas, you can go ahead and read from the beginning.
Ashoka was the third ruler of the illustrious Maurya dynasty and was one of the most powerful kings of the Indian subcontinent in ancient times. His reign between 273 BC and 232 BC was one of the most prosperous periods in the history of India. Shaka's empire consisted most of India, South Asia, and beyond, stretching from present-day Afghanistan and parts of Persia in the west to Bengal and Assam in the east, and Mysore in the south. Buddhist literature document Ashoka as a cruel and ruthless monarch who underwent a change of heart after experiencing a particularly gruesome war, the Battle of Kalinga. After the war, he embraced Buddhism and dedicated his life towards dissemination of the tenets of the religion. He became a benevolent king, driving his administration to make a just and bountiful environment for his subjects. Owing to his
Okay, good. Stop right
benevolent
there. Stop right
nature
there.
as a ruler,
Stop right there. Thomas, can you summarize what you just read?
Ashoka was a third ruler, and his empire covered most of South Asia and India, and throughout throughout the wars and the battle, he was a monarch, a cruel, a bad person.
You know what is
After
the monarch?
discovering
You
Buddhist
know what is the
literature,
monarch king? The monarch king, you know what does that mean?
um, I forgot.
Okay, the monarch king, that is the king that grew throughout many throughout many small countries. That means he the one who conquered most of those. That means he ruled with the lot area. So that's what we call monarch. Okay. All right, keep going. Keep going.
Owing to his benevolent nature as a ruler, he was given the title Darshi. Ashoka and his glorious rule is associated with one of the most prosperous time in the history of India, and as a tribute to his non-partisan philosophies, the Dharma
Oh no! I mean,
Chakra
you
adorned.
summarize the story. Summarize.
Okay. So yeah, after understanding the Buddhist literature, he changed slowly but not fast, I believe, and he started dedicating his life toward the religion, and he became I think he understood his subjects and the people below him, and yeah.
Benevolent king. That means I think it become the very beloved king. That means many citizens throughout the country they love this king because that means he converted from bad into good. That's and also the title later on to read here the title Divana Viya Sachi. That means the perfect king, the perfect ruler. He tried to become the perfect ruler in the sense of to be benefit to the citizen, to benefit for the whole country of the people. That's the whole idea. Okay, we will learn about that. Okay, thank you. Okay, let me see. Um, uh, Paul, you want to read the next one for me? Thank you.
Owing to his benevolent nature as a ruler, he was given the title Prayadarshi Asoka, and his glorious rule is associated with one of the most prosperous time. Oh, sorry. The most prosperous time in the history of India, and as a tribute in his
Non-partisan, non-partisan
non-partisan philosophers. The
philosophy.
drama Chakra adorning the Asot
Okay, okay,
Sam has been made a part of Indian nation flag, the emblem of the Republic of India has been adapted from the lion capital of Ashoka.
okay. What do you understand from here?
Well, actually I just joined and I didn't understand from the beginning.
Okay, okay, that's okay. So basically, benevolent, I think it's the beloved, I think beloved nature, his beloved nature as the ruler, that means the good king, the best king, right? Give him the title. This title means the perfect ruler in the sense. For that nature, that's why he have the glorious time to, during the for the India history. That is the most glorious time under his rule, right? And um, and mm, and right now nowadays the India is a country. It's not the native American native. Very different. Remember, India is a country. Is a country. Uh, so that is where the Buddha come from. Okay? And you know what? Nowadays, the India country they use some of the good thing from Ashoka for the Indian national flag as well as the anthem of the nation. Right? That is a good thing. So we will learn about him more. Okay. Let's, uh, tell me, June. Go ahead.
Ashoka was born to Mauryan king Buddhisara and his queen Devi Dharma in 304 BC. He was the grandson of the great Chandragupta Maurya, the founder emperor of the Maurya dynasty. Dharma, alternatively known as the Subhangani or that, was the daughter of the Brahmin priest from the kingdom of the Champa and was assigned relatively low position in the royal household, owing to politics therein. By virtue of his mother's position, Ashoka also received a low position among the princes. He had only one younger sibling, Virashoka, but several elder half-brothers. Right from his childhood days, Ashoka showed great promise in the field of weaponry skills as well as academic. Ashoka's father, Binsara, impressed with his skills and knowledge, appointed him as the governor of Avanti. Here
Okay.
he met and married Devi, the daughter of a
Okay. Stop right there. That's good enough. So tell me what you.
he was born as a prince, but since of his mother, he got a low ranking. But
Mother,
because he was
the,
talented at academic,
the mother, low position, right? The mother, not the
yeah.
father. The
So
father.
it caused him to the
Mhm.
the father was the king and the mother was low position. So when he was born, he was still a prince, but it was like lower position as the other ones. And then, but he had like a lot of talent in academic and weaponry. So his father gave him a role, a
Mm,
governor.
mm. Okay, so based on this thing here, yeah, well, he was born right with the lower position mother due to the politics. Actually, the mother come from the good family, but somehow for the politics, they therefore the king have no favor in this prince. So, but the good thing about this prince, he very good in weaponry skill as well as academic. Therefore, later on, the father very impressed about the skill and the knowledge. That's why he appointed him as the governor of the Avanti, and that's where he met Devi and married that woman, right? And he have two children. Okay. Anyway, let me see. Give me 1 second. Joe, you have go ahead and read stuff from here, Joe. Let me hold on. Hold on. Where are we? Mm, okay. Hold on. Not here. Okay. Here. Here he met.
Here he met and married Devi, the daughter of a tradesman from Vidisha. Ashoka and Devi had two children, son Mahendra and daughter Sanghamitra. Ashoka quickly grew into an excellent warrior general and an astute statesman. His command on the Merman army stated growing day by day. Ashoka's elder brothers became jealous of him and they assumed him being favored by King Visusara as a successor to the throne. King Visusara's eldest son, Shishima, convinced his father to send Ashoka far away from the capital city of Pataputra to Takshalshila province. The excuse given was to subdue a revolt by the citizens of Takashila. However, the moment Ashoka reached the province, the militias welcomed him with open arms and the uprising came to an end without any fight. This particular success of Ashoka made his elder brothers, especially Sushima, more insecure.
Okay. Tell me. Summarize what is the rest. Let's see.
Basically, since Ahsoka was so he grew up very successful, a lot of jealousy came from his brothers, and they think that they think that he will be, I don't know how to word it, like he will be
Why the elder brother afraid of this younger brother? Why?
because they think that he will be favored and will gain more power than the oldest son. Even though he's older, he'll be embarrassed that the younger will have more power than him.
Yeah, because the elders think that if the youngest brother be favored by the king, that means he will become the king later on, right? That's why the elder is very jealous about the Ashoka, right? And why the eldest son convinced his father, that means the king, to send Ashoka to this province like Sat Tatsa Sila province. Why was that? Do you know why? What is the purpose the elder brother want to do?
They want to send him far away.
And also in the very, because this place right now, what happened to this place right now? That's why they send him to here. It's uprising, right? This is the place it was chaos and uprising. That means the citizen of this province is uprising and chaos, and that's why the elder brother think that if he put the Ashoka in this area, so he will be in danger. That means the Ashoka will be get killed by this easily. That's what he want to do. But you know what? When Ashoka went there, right? Because due to his famous and skill, that's why the army welcomed him, and the citizen also welcomed him. Um, and you know what? There no fight, but the uprising came to an end. That's why make the elder brothers Tsushima become very insecure. That mean Ashoka become more popular, more famous, and more favored by the king. That's what make him insecure. The elder brother insecure. Does that make sense to you, Joe?
Yes, it does. Come and tie.
Okay, okay, all right. Okay, let's see. Bé Quyên, go ahead and read at the beginning. Bé Quyên, are you there?
Sus- yes, Susima started inciting Bindusara against Ashoka, who was then sent into exile by the emperor. Ashoka went to Kalinga, where he met a fisherwoman named Karwaki. He fell in love with her and later made Karwaki his second or third wife. Soon the province of Ujjain started witnessing a violent uprising. Emperor Bindusara called back Ashoka from exile and sent him to Ujjain. The prince was injured in the ensuing battle and was treated by the Buddhist monks and nuns. It was in Ujjain that Ashoka first came to know about the life and teachings of Buddha.
Okay, stop right there.
In the following year,
All right, summarize what you just read.
Ashoka was sent into the exile because of the emperor, and then he went to Kalinga, where he met a fisherwoman named Karwaki. He fell in love with her, and then she became his second or third wife. But then soon the province of Ujjain witnessed a violent uprising, and the emperor called back Ashoka from exile and sent him to Ujjain. He was then injured and was treated by the Buddhist monks and nuns,
Okay,
and
okay.
that's how.
Coach Sami knows the Buddhism, right? Okay. So basically, thank you. Basically, Tsushima convinced the king to against Ashoka. That means put Ashoka into that means far away from the capital, right? That is what it means by the exile. Exile. That means you want to send that person far away from the capital. It will not harm you. That's the idea. And and also wherever the whatever the area have problems like uprising, the king cannot be able to use hit all the sun, right? Because they have no ability to subdue the uprising. Therefore, the king called Ashoka back and to handle the uprising province like Yuchen, right? Yuchen, because Ashoka was very good in weaponry skill as well as military. He's very good. That's why the king trusts Ashoka a lot for this thing. Um, um, okay. And this is where that's why he got injured during the battle. And this is the first time he know about the Buddhist teaching from the monk and the nuns. Okay. So basic, that is the beginning. Let me see. Nathan, read from the beginning. I mean, in the following year.
In the following year, uh, Bindusara became seriously ill and was literally on his deathbed. Tsushima was nominated successor by the king, but his autocratic nature made him unfavorable among the ministers. A group of ministers led by Radhahuta called upon Ashoka to assume the crown. Following Bindusara's death in 272 BC, Ashoka attacked Pataliputra, defeated and killed all his brothers, including Tsushima. Among all his brothers, he only spared his younger brother.
Okay, go ahead.
Vita Soka,
Okay,
Vita Soka, his
stop.
coronation.
Okay, stop right there. Let me check that.
Um, that Bindusara was really ill, and then I think Tsushima was nominated, but due to his due to how he acts, he wasn't like one of the favorable contestants to be nominated. So then uh, I think that's all I could really tell.
Thank you, Nathan. You're doing good. Okay, basically, King Bindusura, right, became very ill, and he want to nominate Tsushima to become the king, right? But due to his bad nature, but that means that he have a very bad behavior. That's why the minister did not like him, and but the minister favor Ashoka instead because Ashoka very good in military skill as well as other stuff. That's why the minister saw Ashoka it's a better candidate for the king. That's why they promote the Ashoka to become the king after the death of the king. 272 BC, Ashoka attacked Tata Pucha, defeated and killed all his half brother. Basically, they are called half brother. And the only one he spared, that means his younger brother, Vitasoka. Vitasoka is his brother with the same father and the same mom. So this is the one he spared. Um, um, and you know what? That okay. Before we, let me show you the video. Before we continue on the number six, right? Number six. Let me show you this video. I just sent you the email with the client. Okay, Nicholas, can you pay attention to the video and summarize at the end for me? Thank you. Nicholas, are you there? Are you there, Nicholas? Kwa, can you do that for me, Kwa?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see the video?
Yeah.
Okay. It was said without weapons. Commander is Ashoka. Now, this was said very well. His father, Emperor Bindusara, had borne many sons from his many wives. Ashoka was born from a woman. He always can you hear it?
Yeah.
Felt that his father never liked him. They were Suchi brothers. He was the eldest son and was born to a noble woman. Bindusara's many sons helped him rule over the vast Maurya empire, which now covered almost all of India. Ashoka thus was an unimportant and expendable prince. Nevertheless, he decided to proceed with whatever he had. Whoa. Sushi, on the other hand, was enjoying the life of a prince in party. He was the king to be. But not many saw him suitably for the position. But he slaps me on my head. When he becomes the king, he will not hesitate to strike a sword on my neck. ministers in the book were looking for a better alternative. Amidst these situations, Ashok returned to the capital and the voters had submitted stating that they had no problem with the authority of the king, but only with some oppressive ministers of his. Ashok stayed as an astute diplomat spread quickly. The ministers had found the ally they were looking for. A few years passed. Old Bindusar, asked the ministers, "Oh, Sushim, God, to feel his preference of Krishna." He was sent to tackle a fresh revolt in the region. What's so doing? He said, "When Sushim said, but I want Sushim back." Ministers understood that the king was keen to declare Sushim as the king before he dies. But Ashok had a different plan. I don't feel this. What they covered Ashok with a layer of turmeric to make him look pale. Placed medicines and juices around him. In the Ashok posed no threat to Sushil's succession. He went hastily. Take good care of him. Hope you found the video informative and interesting. Please like, comment, and share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more. Okay, go ahead, Kwa.
Okay, well, it kind of cut off a few parts, so I might miss some parts, but there's a family, the old bin, I forgot, bin, the father, and then he favored his son the most, which was
Tsushima.
Simsim,
Tsushima.
and Simsim, um, and he was like the most favorited and the oldest, right, the eldest son, and um, he went out to um, his name started spreading because he was um, helping expanding the land, and then I think I missed some parts, and then the father got sick, and they said, and he called for the eldest son, but he wasn't there, he was somewhere else, um, and he was wondering, the father was asking where he was, and he was wondering why he left the palace.
Hmm. So that's it. Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, that's all
Okay, thank you. So basically, in this movie, we know that the father, that means the king, favored Tsushima, the eldest son, right? And Ahsoka was unimportant, right? Uh, and Tsushima, that means the eldest son, have a very bad behavior. That means he not respect the minister, right? That means remember he slapped on one of the minister, right? Face. That's why the minister always remember that. Therefore, they think that if today he slapped on my face, but when he become the king, he will not hesitated to strike the sword on my neck. That's what the minister afraid of. So later on, they saw the Ashoka become very famous. One of the famous is the Ashoka went to Tasila, I think that the province. It was an uprising, right? And when Ashoka went there, you know what? The citizen and the military, open arm, welcome him without the fight. And that's why the minister become recognized that they be able to see to find the alternative prince, right? So and you know what? From there, they favor the minister favor the Ashoka prince more than the Tsushima. So and when the king, that means the king Bindusara became very ill, very sick, right? Serious ill, and he want to nominate the Tsushima to become the king, and he requests the minister to bring the Tsushima back to the palace, but the Tsushima were in the Takasila province try to subdue the revolt, right? And the king said that why don't you just send Ashoka in that place and take the Tsushima back? Well, the minister already, so at that time, the minister already know that the king want the Tsushima to become the king. And therefore, they have the different plan. So they went to see, the minister went to see Ashoka, and they come up with a plan to make the Ashoka look very ill, look very sick. So that means Ashoka cannot leave the palace at this moment. And so the minister went to see the king and told the king about that. That means the Ashoka was sick, was very sick, and he cannot leave the palace right now. So the king want to see for himself. So he went and saw that, and he said, "Oh, this the sick Ashoka will not have any threat for the Tsushima succession, right? That's the whole idea. You know what? That is the story. So, all right. Let me show you the second part of this. Let's see. Nicholas, are you there, Nicholas? No? Okay, Thomas. Are you there, Thomas?
Yes.
Thomas? Okay. Okay, I will show you the second.
All glimpses of Indian history.
Okay, hold on. Let me show you the second part.
The pride helped me realize my full potential is becoming. You're the greatest of all time, and I'm the greatest of all times. Oh, we're going there? All I need is a catchphrase like, how's it going, dude? That's a garbage catchphrase. Speech jam, really confused. Go on. It's time that he's coronated. So, he should fall, my son. No! Ministers at this came back with Ashoka, in all the royal garments and jewelry. Samrat, your son's here. Seeing Ashoka, with all his health so quickly, Bindusar understood what was going on. You traitors! Bindusar died in his sickness, and Sushil was weak. The conspirators declared Ashoka as the new king. What? When Sushil learned that Ashoka was crowned, he was infuriated. Immediately, he with his army rode for the capital. He had the support of many of his brothers and allies. Ashoka was ready. On his way, Sushil saw Ashoka mounted on a wagon, challenging him for a fight. He charged. So she received the sword and hatred. There was no major challenger left to Ashoka. He was now the Chakravartin Samrat of the Bharat. Hope you found the video informative and interesting.
Okay, Thomas.
So what happened was, the king was dying on the bed, and he called the minister to call the elder brother. Such no, I can't say his name, but yeah. And then but they had other plans. It turns out the youngest son, I don't, I guess maybe either, was not sick, and he came in. And he was like, I'm good, and I'm gonna take the throne. And his father didn't like that, and he said he called them traitors, and he tried reaching for the sword, then he fell down and died. And then the elder son found out that his youngest brother got the crown, so then he started charging in with his brothers and armies. And then he saw his youngest son on top of, I mean, his youngest brother on top of an elephant with his own army, and they started charging at each other. And then the oldest brother realized that it was a trap, and it was not sand or the thing they were walking on. They were walking on wood. Underneath it was lava or fire, and then and the older son and his army fell and then died slowly and painfully.
Okay. Um, you see that even though the elder brother, right, he had the all the support from all his brother as well as the ally, right, to against the new king. That means Ashoka, but they still be defeated. Do you know why? Do you know why, Thomas?
Because all they had in their minds was to kill the king. They didn't realize that he had time to plan or anything. They just wanted the crown. They just wanted. He was just mad. He had. It's like when you're mad, you don't think about anything. You just go straight forward to that. I think that was his mindset.
Yeah, when you angry, when you get mad, you cannot think properly, right? But also, okay, also that when they were young, right, the elder twins and all the twins, that means the older twins, they do not spend time to study about the military skill, spend much time to do that to well train, right? They only enjoy, right? But Ahsoka is different. Ahsoka always try his best to pursue to become the best fighter. That means he need to master all the weaponry skill as well as the military skill, and he spend time for this. He don't spend time for the enjoyment, for the pleasure. That's the big difference. Therefore, when the one who in this story we should learn that when we young right now, right? Especially you guys very young. If you don't spend time to do good in school, what happened to you in the future, Thomas?
We well, some maybe like not have a job, or some, it's just harder for you in the future if you don't work hard right now like
Yeah.
to earn a living and money and the job and college and everything.
Yeah, maybe you can become the successful person, but the average person, not the best person, right? So if we don't try hard now, then the result is you will not have the right future, um, and you will have a lot of struggle in the future to keep yourself um, uh, when you strive for your education, you will go through a lot of struggle to be able to become the successful for the education. That means to be able to graduate for whatever the major you are choose, right? The same thing here. When the oldest prince, right, and other prince, they have a lot of time to enjoy when they were young. So when they out there for the battle, they don't know what to do. They cannot think wisely. They cannot think. They don't have any better skill in those things. So they cannot be able to compete with the one who have the best skill like Ashoka. Even though Ashoka only by himself, but he be able to win over this many friends easily because he have the plan, he have the skill. So that's why we can use this thing for our own life, right? Make sure right now you try your best to ensure that you do really good in your school, right? And when you go to the college, you will not be struggle, go to a lot of struggle, and you can also pursue the best with whatever the career that you want to choose. That is the most important. Does that make sense to you, uh, Nathan? Nathan?
Yeah.
Okay, if we don't spend time
Yep.
get to do good, and later on we will we will have a lot of problems. Um, okay, that's good. Okay, let's go here. Okay, let's continue on the reading a little bit more. Then we will done for the day. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, so we're done. I think we finished this one, right? Did we? Okay, I think we not yet done here. Okay, all right, good. All right, let me see who is. Mm, let's see. Christina Bar, go ahead and read this one. Go. At his coronation. Christina Bar, are you there? Okay, you are not there. Okay, let's see. Uh, Vincent, go ahead and read this one. Go.
With
Vincent?
Ashoka, his coronation took place for years after his ascent to throne. Buddhist literatures describe Ashoka as a cruel, ruthless, and bad-tempered ruler. He was named Chanda, Ashoka meaning Ashoka the Terrible, due to his disposition. At that time, he was attributed with building Ashoka's Hell, a torture chamber manned by an executioner to punish offenders.
Okay, good.
After he became the emperor,
Mhm. Okay, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
After he became the emperor, Ashoka launched brutal assaults to expand his empire, which lasted for around 8 years. Although the uh, Maurya empire that he inherited um, is quite what was quite sizable. He expanded the borders exponentially. His kingdom stretched from Iran, Afghanistan, borders in the west to Burma in the east. He annexed the whole of southern India except Ceylon. The only kingdom outside his grasp was Kalinga, which is the modern day Orissa.
Good. Stop right there. Tell me what you just read.
So Ashoka's coronation took place 4 years after his ascent to the throne. Uh, the Buddhist literatures, they described him as cruel, and they named him Chanda Ashoka, which means Ashoka the Terrible. Uh, they built something called Ashoka's Hell, which is a torture chamber manned by executioner to punish offenders. So after he became the emperor, he launched brutal assaults to expand his empire, um, which lasted around 8 years. Uh, he could expand his borders essentially, even though uh, the Maya Empire uh, area was quite sizable. Uh, so his kingdom stretched from Iran, that word, to like west to Burma in the east. Uh, yeah.
Okay, good, thank you. So basically, he very cruel and ruthless. That means the bad king, right? A terrible king during that time. And he also built a hell, right, to torture the one who offend him. And he also expand the empire to reach out the very large, took over very large area throughout the southeast, no, southern India as well, the Asia country. Um, and only the country that he did not include the Kalinga, and later on we will learn about the Kalinga. That's important. So during the 8 year, he was terrible king. He was very, very bad king. Um, okay. So before that, you know what? We still have time. Okay, we're done with the thing. All right, let's see. Let me see. Thomas, go ahead and read the next one. At the beginning,
The Battle of Kalinga and submission to Buddhism. Ashoka launched an assault to conquer Kalinga during 265 BC, and the Battle of Kalinga became a turning point in his life. Ashoka personally led the conquest and secured victory. On his orders, the whole of province was plundered, cities were destroyed, and thousands of people were killed. The morning after the victory, he went out to survey the state of things and encountered nothing except burnt houses and scattered corpses. Having brought face to face with the consequences of war for the first time, he felt overwhelmed with the brutality of his actions. He saw flashes of the destruction that his conquest had wrought even after returning to Pataliputra. He experienced an utter crisis of faith during this period and sought penance for his past deeds. He vowed never to practice violence again and devoted himself completely to Buddhism. He followed the directions of Brahmin Buddhist gurus Radhaswami and Manjushri and started propagating Buddhist principles throughout his kingdom. Thus, Chandasoka morphed into Dharmasoka or the Piyasoka.
okay, summarize what you just read.
So, the Battle of Kalinga was one of his huge turning point in life. After the war was over, he was looking around the city and he realized it was destroyed and many people died. That probably some of them were not even in the war and they were just in the houses. And many burnt houses, scattered corpses, and he saw how cruel his actions were and that his conquests led destructions and horrible things. And he realized that and he vowed to and he promised himself never to practice the violence again and he devoted himself to Buddhism.
Hmm. So the Kalinga is the last battle that he took over. Uh, And this is the first time he went out and he witnessed the destruction that of the whole thing, right? From his brutal action. Um, so that make him become very remorse and about the thing he did, right? And therefore he make the vow to from now on he will not never practice any violence to harm others. And completely try to do good through the Buddhist teaching. So that we will learn about this next week. So far we learn him today. We learn him that from the beginning he tried to make all the way to become famous. So the minister favor him to, and that's why the minister promote him to become the king, right? And after he become the king, he killed all his half brother. And after that, he launched the assault to expand the empire for 8 years. And during that time, he became very bad king, terrible king. And the Kalinga is the last battle that he himself to let the conquest and win over the battle. And after that, he went out. He witnessed all the destruction through after the war, right? And that is the first time he witnessed, and that's why he feel very sorrow and regret or remorse about the brutal action he had. And since then, he made the vow that he never practice any violence against them. He willing to change to the Buddhist teaching. So we will continue on next week. All right. Okay. Anyone have any questions so far for me before we start today? After this, we will learn about how the mind works with the different type of the person. The first type of the person, that means how the mind works for the bad person. That is the first one, and how the mind works for the one who did a lot of bad things, right? But he feel remorse, regret about the past action that he did. So we will learn about how the mind works for that person. And what about how the mind works for the one that are willing to change from bad into good? And we will learn about that through the eight consciousness model. And we also, in the future, we will learn about the Buddhist psychology for the one who want to in the state of the remorse and want to change, right? We will learn about that. So far, what do you think about this teaching today? Anyone?
It's interesting.
It was interesting, Sai.
Interesting, right? You learn a lot of things in this story. Okay, that's good. I will continue on this thing. No question, right? Okay, all right. Let me conclude the story and stop right here. Okay, Bedouin, go ahead and put our palm together. Read it again.
May every living being, our minds as one and radiant light, share the fruits of peace with heart of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may their minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward, may all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light break the darkness of their endless night. Because our hearts are one, this road of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise.
Thank you. So in here, when we say that the darkness of the endless night, it means that our ignorance, okay? Our ignorance represent the darkness. The light represent the wisdom. When we have wisdom, the ignorance, that means the darkness, just like when you have the light, right? The darkness will disappear, right? The same thing. When you have wisdom, our ignorance will gone. So that's the idea. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Namo Di Phật. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Vâng thầy ơi, Phật thầy.
Cảm ơn thầy.
Vô Phật thầy.
Thomas, what do you think about this teaching? You ran away so fast.